So the start of the game, and the Lions go to the left of screen. They're in a similar position to the Swans. As I said, practically the same percentage and the same number of wins. McDonald gets the free kick.
He's been a critical Bo McDonald. He's second in the average hit-outs with 21. Just a young kid, but gets his hand on the ball very well.
Bit up and under, and Schwabel's come in. He's been pretty good, Schwabel. In fact, I think the Swans have had a lot of players that have started their matches very well this year. Schwabel's one of them. Barry is one that really comes to mind. They haven't quite finished off. Well, Dunkley's ventured very far down the field. That's good play to O'Loughlin. Don't the Swans look different in their white shorts today as he kicks to centre half forward. Good mark by White at the back. White shorts, Plugger. Gee, it's different, isn't it?
Well, they come up a treat, don't they, Bruce?
Lepage to Power. Power's been a very important player in terms of goal kicking. Just got away from Goods. Then the handball over the top for Lapp, and he wants a good bounce now, and Crouch may worry him to the line here, and he does. A boundary throw in. Bolton towards the line. Jim Malloy was strong there, just got rid of his opponent, and then with a probing kick inside the 50, Matthews, and now Dunkley to Crouch. The hands had to be good. Saddington didn't take it, and Power does and kicks a goal, the first of the match.
Well done by Richard Champion there, I think it was, coming in from left of screen. Just put enough pressure on Jason Saddington just to worry him out of the contest there a bit. Andrew Dunkley's attacked the ball very well early on, and it looks like the plan for Andrew Dunkley on Alistair Lynch, as I said, with the chronic fatigue, will be to try and run him around and run him up the ground. But that's a good finish and a good start to the Brisbane Lions.
It's almost taken McRae's spot this year in terms of kicking goals, Power. I mean, McRae's still out there, sure, but there's Champion, who defends well as in a forward position, doesn't he?
Yeah, he is sort of a negative type forward. I think he plays a crucial role. He gives a very good contest and won't have big stats at the end of the day, but still can have an input.
So first goal to the Lions. Voss out of the centre. Wolf read that pretty well. He'd be anxious. He's missed the last three. He was a very good player a couple of seasons back. Maxfield back to Wolf. They've gone very wide. Wolf inside 50. He's got fair distance on the left. At the back, Armat running hard. Will Goods leave it for him? Does it. Does it beautifully and kicks a goal. Well, there might be a whole lot of people here, but they do make a noise when the Swans score, don't they?
And it's certainly just what they needed, a quick answer. They certainly don't want Brisbane getting off to too good a start here. And we've seen him do some incredible things this year. He's a wonderfully skilled footballer, Adam Goods.
I'll tell you what happened there too, Plugger. Justin Lepage left his man, which was Adam Goods, ran to the contest about 20 metres away, missed the hit. The ball didn't go forward, it went behind, and Adam Goods was able to kick an easy goal.
I think he might be their best bet at full forward, Goods. I really do in the certainly in the short term. Pushing forward to Malloy. It came from McDonald. Wharf to Creswell. Good play to Schwartz. He would really love a big one today. And the kick to Luff is a good one. I said last week they looked sharp early, the Swans. I mightn't go quite so early this week.
Just the doctor's running out to Andrew Dunkley too, Bruce, so he's just a bit lame, hobbling around a little bit there, so it'd be interesting to see the result of that.
Kennedy. Oh, very good smother coming from John Stevens. Barry to Saddington. Maxwell's a left foot, he's got the pace. Surely he'll go, and Stewie does.
Yeah, there's Andrew Dunkley, Pluggy, you mentioned, in the hands of the trainers down there, and looks to be a knee, maybe just a knock on the knee sometimes that they can really sting the old belt in the knee, and you only have to ask Paul Kelly about that. But there it is there, the collision there, looks like with Jared Malloy, was it? He's certainly gone straight to ground, Plugger, and it doesn't look all that flash at the moment, so, although he is getting back into position onto Alistair Lynch.
So the Swans have replied here with a couple. Voss to Lambert, sweeping handball cut off. Stafford in close, well done by Chris Johnson. Back to Lappin, stops and props a bit, and he doesn't want to waste it. Neat kick to Malloy. Malloy very deep for the moment. He's a bustling player, Malloy, isn't he? At times he can be mercurial, exciting to watch. Creswell's been very busy early. Oh, well done, Black, good hands. And then Black's, oh, beautiful kick to Lynch.
Yeah, well done by Simon Black. Just chopped that off, Plugger, beautifully there.
That was a good lead too. He's very, very quick on the lead, Alistair Lynch. And kicked 6 goals last week. Missed a couple that, he really should have got.
6-6 though.
So yeah, so he's had a lot of shots for goal. So very important kick for him here. Do his confidence the world of good if he can nail this.
First up from a difficult spot. Geez, kicked it well, hasn't he? He has kicked it very well for a goal. I tell you what, you can pick and plug it. The two fingers went up just as it left the boot there. If you ever give this caper up, you'd be a very good goal umpire. Centre wing, Barry. Still, oh, he's gone. Well, he got away with it in the end to Creswell. Just had to load it up really and bang it, and Goods has got it. Well, he's not going to take a shot. He's going to kick it across the ground. Hart's going to try and make a contest, and the mark taken by Ahmad. It was funny last week. He looked in really good form early, but nothing much happened when he got the ball. The week before he kicked 5-5, but he didn't end up with anything last week after. I thought he started promisingly.
He's a real confidence player, Robbie Ahmad. Now, if he can go back and kick this, he could be set for a good day.
45 out. He's careful.
Looks pretty good.
It's a good kick. Well, there's a few good signs, but at both ends, I think, at the moment. Hard at half-back. Oh, that's a free kick against Barry to Brown. And advantage given to full forward, and Stafford filled the hole pretty well. Lynch and Dunkley out of play.
And that's just what you want to see Greg Stafford do. Get down there, help the defence, help Andrew Dunkley, and make it a 2-on-1 competition. And we'd also like to see him push forward a bit, because I reckon there's opportunities there for him to kick 2 or 3 goals each week as well.
Leo Barry, a huge fly over the top there, but completely illegal.
Stafford, it was taken from him, and then McRae. That is a great kick to Johnson. Almost went on, but is coming back now to have a shot.
Now Johnson's playing on Leo Barry too. Now Leo Barry's playing at half forward and pushing right up the ground, so if he's going to do that, he's going to have to watch Chris Johnson. Played with him at Fitzroy, and he played a lot of footy up forward and can be a very dangerous goal kicker.
He won the leading goal kicking at the Lions, Fitzroy, in 1995. Just the 1 goal so far this year. Good kick, he's got it.
Yeah, he's sort of pushed him down back now, Chris Johnson. He was mainly a forward playing with Fitzroy, and then also when he first went to the Brisbane Lions. But as we can see here, he's running back through the midfield, going back to the back pocket. Greg Stafford, well done by Beau McDonald too, and there's just fantastic vision by Craig McRae. Just coming out of that pack, saw Chris Johnson running into space. And if Leo Barry's going to push up, he's really going to have to watch Chris Johnson, because, as I said, Johnson can be a very, very dangerous goal-kicking forward.
3-2 to 3 goals. So a 2-point margin. Stafford, backhand it to centre-half forward to Luff. Luff inboard to Bolton. Bolton forced to kick in a hurry, gets it to half forward. O'Loughlin, clever, well done. Creswell from 30 metres. That's a wonderful team goal.
He's been good early, plugger, Darren Creswell.
He has been good. He's been pretty close to Voss. He hasn't given Voss too much room, but once again there, Mickey O'Loughlin, you see the silky skills that he does possess. That's why they call him Magic.
He is very hard. Once he gets in front, just a deft little handball over the top. Darren Creswell, who is a pretty good finisher.
Now Bolton's going to have to run hard. Malloy's got some steam up. Bolton against him. Malloy, well, that's bad play by Malloy, because he had him scummed, didn't he?
And he also had a teammate coming over in Beau McDonald too, so they just had to worry him out of the ball there, Jude Bolton, but just a pretty ugly tackle, that one.
Barry just got rid of Black a bit there, just used his bulk a bit and probably a bit more weight. Probing kick to centre-half forward. Caught underneath it was Ahmad. Hart running hard. Stevens. Oh, Goods. Well done. And then caresses at the Luff, who kicks a goal. Adam Goods, you are a beauty.
Well, you kicked 1,353 million goals, but did you ever pick the ball up off the ground like that? That was just absolutely...
That was Anthony Koutoufides, wasn't it?
I'll tell you what, that's a good analogy, Bruce. Have a look at this. That is absolutely fantastic play.
Well, yeah, quite amazing, wasn't it? No, I never did introduce myself to the turf that often, I can assure you.
Wharf back to Matthews. It was Matthews to Wharf to Laugh. Didn't hold it. McRae. Just those little 1%ers they had up at the end. Picken. Back. Gets it to McRae. Topoke okay. Ackermanis hasn't been involved too much. Lappin's been busy. May take Schwass on here. He's in the defensive part of the centre square. Loads up and kicks to centre half forward. Swan's getting good numbers around contest. Barry takes the mark. Gives to Dunkley. To Matt. Now, will he take Johnson on? Stevens is to go. Or O'Loughlin. He kicks to O'Loughlin. Stevens running hard for him here. O'Loughlin's seen him and goes to Schwass. Got him.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Mickey O'Loughlin was probably the only one that saw Wayne Schwass. And I was like you, Bruce. I was looking for the other player, and that just shows you what a terrific player Mickey O'Loughlin is. All eyes in the grandstand would have been on that leading Swans player, and all of a sudden, what great vision Mickey O'Loughlin has, saw Wayne Schwass, who was cutting a swathe through a number of players in a pack, and then all of a sudden end up with a ball. Well done, Michael O'Loughlin.
Troy Luff is having a spell on the bench too after his poor attempt at a mark there, just going for it one-handed, so he's gone off to have a think about it.
Fitzgerald on. Tricky kick this, isn't it, for Schwass? Just tucked up a bit.
I'll nail this one, Bruce.
You're right again. Well, he didn't look like missing. That's a good goal, and that'll do Schwassy the world of good. I mean, he's tried his heart out again, as he always does this season, but it just hasn't happened for him yet, has it?
Just that long raking left foot, the 50 or 60 metre passes, Plugger, I reckon they're the things that have been missing in Schwass's game to the leading forward. He's still getting a fair bit of the football, but just that long raking kick.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Wayne Schwass does the most damage when he's tearing through the middle and hitting leading forwards. It's all right to get plenty of possessions around the back half, but if he can get the ball through the middle, hit his forwards, that's when it really counts.
So goal to Schwass. So what's happening with Craig Lambert, Nick?
Seems to be a problem with his groin. They're working on his lower back at the moment, but he's only just rolled over, so there was definitely concern about his groin or lower stomach area. He's a bit proppy just at the moment.
Well, he's had a litany of problems in that area over the years, hasn't he? It's been disappointing for him. Creswell very short to Fitzgerald. It was a good play.
Yeah, he's been outstanding, Darren Creswell, and that's the benefit of getting the ball out of the centre early. It's been a pretty good matchup in the midfield. Voss, Lambert, who's on the bench now, against Schwass and Creswell, so there's certainly some quality amongst those players. And Ryan Fitzgerald, really for his confidence, he's been in the seconds for the last couple of weeks, needs to go back and kick this goal.
Hasn't kicked a goal in the AFL since round 5. It's been his last 3 matches he played, he didn't score a goal. So, big kick for him. Should get this. Well, the signs are good for the Swans.
It's interesting, without being too critical on Justin Leppich, because he is an All-Australian from last year. He started on Adam Goods, who was terrorising him early. He went on to Troy Luff, and Troy Luff took a couple of marks on him. And now he's gone on to Ryan Fitzgerald, and Ryan Fitzgerald's just kicked a goal on him as well. So it looks like he's now going on to Leo Barry. So
he's in between. He's actually,
he's still on Fitzgerald. So it hasn't been a great start for the All-Australian as Jason Ball comes off the field just for perhaps a bit of a rest.
Find out why the Swans have got the white shorts. Roosie and Plugger can't work it out. It's a home game, so if you can have that by half-time, we'll be really happy.
Can do, Bruce.
Kick the centre half forward. Lions probably just need an early one here. Voss, Saddington. Rodney had spent quite a bit of time with Jason Saddington when he first went to the huddle at quarter time. He ended up getting it a fair bit in that opening term. O'Loughlin's kick to Stevens. The mark taken. Matthews running hard. Stevens kicks it to him. It was a good kick actually because it made him stretch over the back because Black was onto him in the front had it been short. The kick by Matthews. Luff hard at it. Still with it. Handball inboard. Terrific to Wharf. Wharf 50 metres out. Good play. Well, Malaxos said it, didn't he, Steve? They're cleaner than they've been for so long.
Yeah, look, I'll tell you what, Rowan Wolf's given a bit of run also. So he's missed the last couple of weeks, gone back to Port Melbourne to play. Yeah, he's had 6 possessions. It's just given that run off the back of the 50-metre square and really been important for them. It's interesting too, Darren Creswell, who had 11 possessions in the first quarter, is still on Michael Voss, and Voss has gone forward. So whether that's for Lee Matthews saying to Michael Voss, take Darren Creswell out of the play, even though Voss was critical with 7 possessions as well, and Wayne Schwass has been good also early in this game, lining up for what could be his second goal.
Again an angle, but this should suit the left footer a bit better. He had no mistake with the first. That one he has missed. So behind to Schwass. Playing forward a fair bit today. He is 31. You know, he's had a long and outstanding career, hasn't he?
Wharf
Missed by Crouch. Voss good in close to Bolton. Gee, keeps his eye on the ball when it's hot. It's a hot footy. That's a great sign. Shawwell to Schwass to Creswell. Had to kick it as far as he could. McRae searched for it a bit, but he did extremely well. The handball to the advantage. Taken by Bolton. Good kick inside. He is a likely type, Bolton. Got it in board to centre half forward to Picken. Picken, good kick to Lynch. Well, Dunkley let him go.
Yeah, it's interesting. Andrew Dunkley in that case is playing him from in front. And what happens if you play him from in front? Sometimes you do tend to lose him. Just as Andrew turned his head to see where Alistair was and then looked back at the football, as soon as he looked back at the football, Alistair Lynch led there into space.
Jared Malloy was actually running to the goal square, and I think he was going to try and cover Jared Malloy, and he just got caught out a little bit there.
Lynch's kick, it's coming back. He likes it. So it's a good return from Lynch so far. He's looked dangerous. He's got two. And he's getting involved at 7-4 to 4-3. McDonald over the top. Shawwell's handball to Creswell. Oh, Creswell's kick dangerous because he had nothing on it. Fortunately for the Swans, it's bounced away. McRae to Ackermanis. Ackermanis deep, long and probing. Lynch takes off. Good play, Bolton in the front. Black was very, very good to McDonald, a goal.
Just great play all round there, I think. A good lead from Alistair Lynch. Well done by Jude Bolton. We saw already what happens when a player gets in front of Alistair Lynch, being Sean Hart in that first quarter. Jude Bolton put his body on the line. Then it was crumbed. There, I think he called Bruce Simon Black.
He's good, wasn't he, Black?
Let's watch it here. Well done. Just great crumbing.
Stafford and McDonald. So they've been able to claw their way back here, the Lions, and the Swans have had a fair bit of it and haven't been able to put much on the board. Schwass runs onto it. Ackermanis tries to run onto Schwass. 50 out. Good kick. Wonderful footy by Wayne Schwass to Adam Goods on the burst. He could have blazed. He was probably 5 metres too far out to make it a good thing.
That's the sort of stuff we talked about in the first quarter, though, wasn't it? That makes Wayne Schwass a special player. When he gets it on the run and he kicks those low drop punts to the leading forward. And Plugger, you were on the end of plenty of those.
Kicks the ball lovely, Wayne Schwass.
Adam Goods. He's got his second.
It's a pretty important start for Adam Goods, isn't it? Just been a little bit down on form the last couple of weeks. And I think it's just important that he does play in that one position. He's still only a young fella. He's a Norwich rising star. Well done by Wayne Schwass. Just gets the ball, got his pants pulled down there and continued to run. Just a great, great finish. But just for Adam Goods, we forget what a young player he is. It'd just be nice to leave him in the one spot for perhaps a whole game and just let him settle right down and see if he can kick as many goals as possible.
To McDonald.
Sean Hart back on, boys.
He's dropped it. Well, he should have been pinged then. Thanks for that, Nick. Johnson, little sideways. Cupido. Back to McDonald. McDonald up and under, floating. Hart's there. Oh, boy, poor old Sean Hart.
He'd want to get back on the bench, Plugger. He kept dumping on like that.
He must have said, he said, oh, no, not Lynchy again. But in fact, it was Bomford in his first touch to Leo Barry, who floats it to Fitzgerald at half forward. Good effort by Chris Johnson. Back to White. Gave it up to Armat. Should use it. Does. Well done to Luff.
Yeah, look, well done by Chris Johnson on Ryan Fitzgerald. He's been a good player early in the game, Chris Johnson, but then a poor handball resulted in Robbie Armat and a good pass. I don't know who was picking up Troy Luff, but he was 30 metres in the clear, no one around him, so probably inexcusable for the Brisbane Lions defence then.
Well, he kicked a goal early, a sitter really, after Goods has set it up. Missed one from about 50, and that's coming back for a goal. Well, Luffy's kicked two, and this, I think, has been a very important 5 minutes for Sydney. Swans may go for the line. Stafford. Voss, still Voss, back to Lambert. That's a good kick right there. Is it through? I think it's a goal. It's a goal.
Well, I thought that was touched.
Yeah, certainly.
I don't know about you fellas, but...
Well, Andrew Dunkley was certainly close enough to touch it. There's Rodney Eade biting his fingernails off, but two very important Brisbane Lion players involved. Craig Lambert kicking the goal, getting taken off the ground. And Michael Voss, I've been particularly impressed with Craig Lambert today. He's been back to somewhere near his best with his real short handballs. And as the ball goes through, it didn't appear that they did get a fingernail on it, so probably the right decision.
Malloy's still on the bench is interesting, isn't it? He's...
It's interesting, they've got a lot of young players out there, haven't they, Brisbane Lions? You would think Malloy, well done, good mark by Mick Alec, but you would think Malloy, with his experience and just his bulk and his enthusiasm, would be a key player to be on the ground at this stage.
He came off for Richard Champion, Roosie, so I think they're just trying to tinker across half forward there, just not getting enough through there.
So Champion will play a tough hard man role there too. O'Loughlin's hurt himself a bit with that. Long kick right to the square. Barry's taken a beauty. Well, he is mercurial, isn't he? There's Mickey O'Loughlin. He's a bit winded.
Yeah, look, Leo Barry, as far as athleticism goes, Plugger, there's not too many that can match him, but it's just the consistency factor with him.
He's just very explosive. He has some terrific quarters, and then he has a quiet one. If he could just put 4 quarters together, he could be an outstanding player. Let's hope he can kick this one. Just plays on and slots it.
So Barry goaling. The signs that are good for the Swans is that every time the Lions are getting 1 or 2, the Swans are matching them.
Just Leppich on the kick out there too, kicking it straight as we see.
It was White actually.
Sorry,
White was kicking to Leppich.
Yeah, sorry, Leppich was out. I don't want to be too hard on Leppich, but yeah, just shows you the result of a kick out now. It can be a very offensive ploy, but it can also backfire against you. And Leo Barry, great mark running back towards goal, and a good goal for him.
Goods. I thought Chris Johnson was very good at half-back then under pressure. Lappin hooking back to centre half forward. Bomford belting away. Then Goods got a deft touch to Schwass, to Maxfield on the burst. Pushes, he kicks. Chance for Fosdyke having his first crack at it. Working the ball. Fosdyke left foot to O'Loughlin. Got him. They want 50, but that was an important play by the Lions to stop Mickey because he was on the turn, wasn't he? And then goes to Luff in the pocket. He's kicked to Luffing. He's going to go in short to Bolton. Got him. This is a very promising player, Bolton.
Terrific player. He's going to kick from about 45, Bruce, and not renowned as being a long kick, Jude Bolton. But let's hope for his sake and the Swans' sake that he can go back and thread this. I reckon he's just inside his distance here.
Well, that's a bit of inside information because we'll get a chance to see. And he has missed it. Spot on there with your observations, Tony.
It's an interesting matchup between Darryl White and Troy Luff. White does chance his arm runs up the field. He's had 7 possessions, but it's allowed Troy Luff a little bit of latitude. And Troy's had 9 possessions and kicked 2 goals. So you would think at this stage he's got the honours over Darryl White.
Well, their defence has been a bit shaky this year, Brisbane. It was a famed defence last year with Ackermanis and Leppich and Scott and Huskus. They had 3 or 4 that were at All-Australian stage, weren't they? Not forgetting Kennedy and a couple of others. White to Voss. So Voss at half-back.
This is where Brisbane's really struggling. They're struggling to get a clean possession into their forward line due to the pressure that the Swans midfielders are applying.
Chris Johnson. I think they might have turned the lights on. It's going to be a late finish here today. Johnson's kick to half forward. Out of play. Nick. So, Nick, a couple of questions. Are the lights on? And secondly, what about those white shorts?
The lights are on, and it seems the fashion police have been in action with the Swans. They've decided that because they've got more white on their Guernsey, that they'll wear the white shorts, even though it is a home game. So that's the official word.
Creswell, a bit fortuitous, but it was good hands. The kick to O'Loughlin, the 50-50. Into the pocket, Stafford, can he break a tackle? Shattuck did well, back to Barry, who's playing with a lot of confidence, loads up, there's a one-on-one situation, now Leppich coming in, Fitzgerald, great contest, Bolton kicks a goal, good stuff Fitzgerald. He stood his ground, didn't he?
Yeah, great play by Ryan Fitzgerald there, really just stood his ground. And Justin Leppich was storming in from the side there, and I think eventually just got a hand to it. So terrific stuff. Leo Barry, who has been good Didn't bother having a shot for goal there, just squared it up into the middle of the ground. Just watch. Well done by Fitzgerald, but Lepic's just got a hand to it. Bolton follows it up. And a good goal from Jude Bolton. We saw him miss one just before, so that's going to be good for his confidence.
So Dunkley, who looked to have hurt himself in the opening term, so he's off the ground. He's been the key defender for such a long time against Fosdyke for kicking in danger. Powers handball to Lambert, who's been on and off a bit, but he has played well. Lynch very deep, and then bangs back to full forward. Malloy with strength, front spot. Saddington's got the job on Malloy. Bomford was good. Shawball, good kick in the end to touch.
Yeah, Alistair Lynch has actually moved out to centre half forward. There's Andrew Dunkley. Obviously he's cooled down during the break, and that's probably why his leg's blown up.
And that certainly would be Andrew Dunkley for the day, because once you start icing them sorts of soft tissue injuries, Roosie, it'll really start to stiffen up now.
Yeah, look, if he hasn't come back on after half time, there's certainly no way he'll reappear.
Schwartz has been good, hasn't he? He really has. He started forward early, but he's been a very good player. In short to Stevens, and then Stevens goes hard. Now Goods is the target. He's got him, I reckon. Well, he makes a difference, Goods, doesn't he? He's just got something extra.
Well, he's been terrific there today. We've seen just the end of the second quarter, he moved him onto the ball and he played a little bit in the ruck, but he's certainly found a niche at full forward today. He's kicked a couple, had a hand in a couple more, and certainly looks very dangerous.
Justin Leppard just gave him a little bit too much space on that occasion and just couldn't track him down.
And kicks truly.
Well, he's got a goal in each of the terms. He's got one in the first, one in the second, one in the third, and he was very important in the first quarter to set up the break when Sydney made its first move. So Lynch, the leading Malloy, Shawball and Malloy. Malloy, he can't get rid of it. He's gone for holding it.
Great effort, Stewie Maxfield. And isn't he an important part of the Swans' makeup? They just seem so much better when he's running off the half-back or off the wing. He does create a lot of opportunities for the Swans forwards.
Matt Stevens, Shawball, well done though. That from Johnson has been pretty good. A bounce and a second. Lynch is all on his own, and surely Johnson will find him, and he does. And Lynch, well, he probably did the right thing in the end. There was no need. He's in a certain goal-kicking position. He's got Ackermanis on the line, but surely you'd go back and kick it.
Well, he shouldn't miss from here, Bruce, but I think he did have ample room and ample time just to turn around, run a couple of steps, and he'd be right on the goal line. Here, you just never know. We have seen a couple of players. A couple of weeks ago, Matthew Primus missed one from about the same area here, so although we wouldn't think Alistair Lynch should miss this one.
Well, this to match Goods for a goal in each of the three quarters so far. He's got it.
Didn't get in by much. What happened there too, just on the other side of the ground, the Swans were all hitting in the one direction. They were all pushing forward, and then all of a sudden, just watch there, well done there, it's Chris Johnson just blocked the Shawball handball. We saw three Swans players in the top of that screen there, all running forward. Now, let me tell you, these were all their opponents, all going back towards the other way. So you can see what a turnover can cost you. Jason Saddington, who's now moved on to Alistair Lynch, and 3 goals, a pretty good return for Alistair Lynch today.
Well, this is the moment in the match, isn't it? Which way is it going to go? There's a 5-goal game. Can the Lions claw their way back, or will Sydney go on and have a big win?
Well, you don't want to see it certainly turn into a close game, especially as far as the Swans are concerned, Bruce. You'd like to see them go on with the job now. They've set up the win, and they look the goods. They really should go ahead and win this game convincingly.
Lappin's kick, Lynch, one hand, comes to Malloy, just his presence to Champion. This is an important kick, loads it up, it's a chance, it's a good goal, it's a goal.
And that's the way Jared Malloy does play. As I said earlier, he's a bustling type player. He just brings the ball to ground there. We saw Alistair Lynch make a good contest, get the ball to ground. Jared Malloy running onto it. And Richard Champion, who is a bit of a workhorse but can finish off his work. And a terrific finish from there, but also a key move for the Lions too is Darryl White has now gone into the ruck. Now, Beau McDonald I thought was pretty good in the first half, but obviously Lee Matthews just wants a bit more mobility around the ground, and that'll be an interesting matchup for Greg Stafford, Darryl White versus Greg Stafford.
And Bolton, and now Malloy's away. Luff's coming in hard. Malloy holds his ground, brings it to the front, has Champion in a close look-away handball. Champion decides to take Saddington on, goes to Cupido. He loads it up, and with a long kick, beautiful kick to Lynch. And here's another goal coming up, and the Lions are back in business here. And whilst Dunkley's sitting it out, I know Nick's got some more information on him. Lynch is about to kick his 4th goal. Nick, he's not coming back, obviously.
No, confirmation, Bruce, that that is his day well and truly gone. He's all iced up, and we won't be seeing Andrew Dunkley again.
Well, they might miss him, the Swans, before the end of this day.
And Bruce, they've turned a 6-goal deficit into a 3-goal deficit within about 6 minutes.
A goal for to Lynch.
Well, Alistair Lynch has moved out the centre-half forward. He has been extremely lively in this 3rd quarter. He's had 5 possessions already in this quarter and kicked 2 goals. Richard Champion's had a couple of key touches as well. And a big kick there from young Cupido. That's gone all the way. Might have gone through, but Alistair Lynch certainly did the right thing there by taking the mark on the line. Running players, Plug, are really getting involved now for the Brisbane Lions. They're just getting numbers around the ball.
Yeah, basically they've just lifted their intensity. They were just probably a little bit slack on it, I guess, in the 2nd quarter, and the Swans opened up quite a handy lead, but with a bit of hard work, they've certainly cut that deficit down, and they've cut it down by another goal too now.
Young Cupido, that's a great goal.
Yeah, that was far too easy, though, from a Sydney Swans point of view. The defenders there, just Cupido, terrifically skilled player, but just cut a little bit of a swathe through about 3 Sydney Swans defenders on that case. Ball bounced, terrific take, and just watch it there, just the tackle just didn't stick. Gets back on the left foot and kicks truly. So he's making an impact in this 3rd quarter without question.
And now Maxfield makes a bit of a mess of it. Gets it inboard to Bomford, who may go wide to Creswell. Doesn't. He won't want to get caught here, Bomford. He doesn't. He gets it to O'Keefe, who's just come on. Saddington running. Good kick, O'Keefe to Goods. Well, what an impact. Comes onto the ground and laces it out to Goods on the burst. They need a goal here, the Swans. The Brisbane Lions have been terrific. Will Goods keep his concentration? Well, he's missed, and he missed it badly.
Players allowed just to go back and concentrate on what he's doing, keep his mind on the job, and then you see on a couple of occasions today that just the concentration's been broken, and important kicks for both clubs it was too at that stage, and
50
in bad misses.
Well, 50 against Stafford.
And this is what we talk about, the Swans just not quite being able to fulfil 100 minutes of consistent hard football, and it's just that 5, 10, 15 minutes of off time that they have. Sides inevitably set the game up and win it, or peg back a deficit that really should have be a lot more.
That's a good mark by Lynch. Lynch is having a big impact now.
What a great kick too from Simon Black, though. There was a number of Sydney Swans players back there, all plugging up the gaps, including Greg Stafford, and he pinpointed that kick. Jason Sanning was right there. Alistair Lynch is looming as a real match winner at this stage.
Kicked 4. Gee, big turnaround. As a Goods having a shot at one end. Stafford gives 50 away. Comes down the ground. And De Black finds Lynch. He's kicked pretty well today, Lynchy. Up and under, but looking straight. He's kicked 5, I think. And he's kicked 3 of them in the 3rd quarter, and the Lions have now kicked 5 unanswered goals. It was 12 goals, 6 to 6-5 at one stage.
And how quickly things can turn. We saw a kick out there. So Adam Goods have a shot for goal, kick a point, but a kick out went straight up the middle. A 50-metre penalty against Greg Stafford to Simon Black, then took him down the other end of the ground, and a pinpoint pass to Alistair Lynch, who's kicked his 5th goal.
Left forward pocket. Champion. Won't give him a free away. The advantage to Goods. Runs his full measure and then kicks to half forward. Fitzgerald. That's a good grab. He should go on. He's got O'Loughlin. He's uncertain. He's in trouble. The handball to Armat. O'Loughlin's in the pocket. Hooks it back to full forward. It's going to be a hard ball to mark. Mickey O'Loughlin will kick a goal. And he does. Do you reckon they needed that?
Well, they needed that one all right. Probably about 5 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter, and Swans only in front after leading by 4 goals, only in front by 5 points. So things are starting to get a little bit desperate for the Swans. Well, they've got a little bit more breathing space now.
Yeah, just Ryan Fitzgerald probably should have given that first handball to Michael O'Loughlin, who was running in from 40 metres out. But in the end, there's Mickey O'Loughlin, who ran all the way to the goal square and kicked a much-needed goal for the Swans.
Saddington at the back gave Champion a push. When you get inexperienced players going for boundary throw-ins, this can happen.
Yeah, that would favour Brisbane Lions. Richard Champion against Jason Saddington in the ruck.
Lynch the target. Front spot. Shawbull did well. Is it going to be paid? No play on. Good call. Creswell got it from Schwass. Back to Love. Fitzgerald and Kennedy. Kennedy and Fitzgerald. And it'll be a boundary throw, and that'll be it. And I reckon the Lions have given themselves a real chance here. They were gone at the start of this third quarter with that early goal against them. And Rocket's been in this situation a lot of times. So the Lions, who kicked 5 unanswered goals in the heart of that term. The early goal to the Swans and then the late goal to the Swans, but really Sydney had, I think, 3 good chances to get another goal or 2 in front, and the 31-point margin has been reduced to 13. Remember that Sydney has been beaten by 9 points or less on 4 occasions at the SCG this year. There's Malloy and Luff. That defence looked different without Dunkley, didn't it? The other end, Goods in the goal square and Ahmad in the pocket.
Yeah, Dunkley going off allowed Alistair Lynch to go berserk that quarter.
Well, that's a scrag on McRae against Fosdyke. Free kick, Voss's kick to the space, power onto it. Brisbane playing confidently. Then power to the pocket, Cupido. There was a lot of faith in Cupido to go there in his first game. Shawbull runs it over the line, boundary throw in. Wharf and Maxfield there with Ball and Dunkley, who won't come back. So the Lions would love a quick one here, and they can ill afford the Swans to get it. So we're sitting on the knife edge a bit. Power did well, Voss, and that came off Creswell's boot on the fall. He's very unlucky, and it's a Brisbane free kick, and Ackerman is quick to grab it. Nobody on the mark. He can go away here. I know it's a tight pocket, but he's been able to get away and then go to, it's a mark to Malloy, so it's a bit slack at the back here.
Yeah, look, that's just inexcusable for the Sydney Swans. There wasn't a fella on Ackermanis mark allowing him to play on and have a shot for goal. And then also we see Jared Malloy taking a mark completely unattended on the goal line.
He'll try and run around, you think, just at the last moment, as he's done, to hook it back. He likes it, I think it's a goal. Malloy gets the imperative opening goal of the final term, and the Lions are within 7 points. It's 12-8 to 13-9. Fosdyke to Matthews on his left foot to half forward. O'Loughlin at the back was Shattuck. O'Loughlin gets it back to Schwass. He needs a big last quarter. He's been very good in the second and third terms, particularly the second, I should say. Hooks it back. Fitzgerald, big fly. A couple of grabs. Well done, White at the back. Hands and knees are all over him in the end. Bolton worked off it. O'Keefe's in there. Black, who had a sensational third quarter, belts it away. It'll be a tricky old ball. It was a tricky old ball. It's beaten a couple of them. Luffy has a second crack. Might have got leg. Not paid. Left foot. Swans have got numbers. Saddington looks up. Probably gave it to the wrong man, but Crouch takes them on. Gets the 50. Loads it up. Gives it a ride. Won't make it. Kennedy at the back. It's a point. I'm getting excited.
Well done by Kennedy back there too, though. We saw down the other end Jared Malloy taking an uncontested mark. The Brisbane Lions, well done Kennedy, just punching the ball through at the right time, just a percentage play.
Leppich loads it up. Geez, kicked it a long way, almost to centre wing. Oh, Fitzgerald, he's in good form, isn't he? He hasn't made a difference yet, but he's in good form.
He's marking the ball cleanly, Plugger, which he sort of wasn't doing from about rounds 4 to 10.
Yeah, much improved effort today.
Good's the target, front spot, no crummers for the Swans, and rolling through for a behind. So it's a 10-point game, a 2-kick game really.
So the team that really thinks they can win at this stage is going to have a huge advantage.
Long ball, White got a fisted. Fosdyke's got a couple of touches, importantly. Stafford, well, Barry was the target, I felt, but Creswell won it in the end. The quick give by Matthews to Bomford, the kick to Ahmad, got him. Might be 5 metres too far out. 5 metres. 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 Plugger, tell us, you know.
Yeah, he's a little bit too far out from there. He is a good kicker of the ball, but I don't like his chances from that far out, Bruce. He's got to be kicking from probably just over the 50 mark, so he looks pretty confident himself, though. He looks like he's going to go back and have a shot.
Comes in for the hook. She's kicked it well. He has kicked it superbly for distance and hit the post. They've kicked a lot of points in a row here, and I think they were 13-8, the Swans, up to 13-14. Good fist by White, and Ackermanis running onto it. 60 metres out, floating one right to the goal square. It's a poor kick. O'Keefe, left footer, forced to go towards the line. Now he has to chase hard. Cupido running hard with Malloy. They've got numbers. Geez, clean. Cupido just picked that up, gets it back to Malloy. Malloy's 70 metres out, goes in short power.
I know it's a bit hard on the kid, but O'Keefe's kick then should have found the boundary and gone over the boundary, and that caused a 2-on-1 contest there. And Brisbane have brought the ball back inboard, and now we see Luke Power. He's usually a reasonably pretty good shot for a goal, this young fella, and this is very important after Swans have peppered the goals and kicked about 4 points in a row. It would be disheartening if he goes back and kicks this.
But a big blow for the Lions, and he likes it. He's kicked his second. So Power's got two, and after the Swans peppered and peppered and peppered, Lions clean have had 2 shots for goal in the last quarter. The Swans have had 5, and the Lions have kicked 2 goals.
Full credit to Brisbane, because they were down by 6 goals and they've fought back. They've just worked hard, and now they only find themselves a goal behind. So certainly well in this game.
It's a long kick. It's almost a centre wing. McDonald belts it at the back. Stafford hooks it back to centre half forward. Johnson sits and waits and then takes one on and then swings the handball effectively to Kennedy. Lynch is short for him. Kennedy with a run, a bounce, and then pops it to centre half forward, wanting some marking power. Malloy, huge flight. Power's read it best. Left footer, hooks it back. Clever kick to Cupido. Got him.
Well, we've seen him miss an early one, a very important one in the third quarter. Interesting, he's on the right side now for a left footer, so...
Luke Power's been very influential in this last quarter. Just some really critical touches. Just the class of the young fella there, running towards the boundary to be able to turn around and screw it back into the real dangerous area for Cupido.
Well, he's made a real impact in his opening game, hasn't he? Came in for Chris Scott and puts it through for a second goal. Scores are level. Didn't think I'd be saying that today in the third quarter.
I think both teams are obviously physically tired, but I just think mentally at the moment it's the team that thinks they're going to be able to win, and Brisbane look as though they're that team at this stage.
Bolton's kicked. Someone's hanging on the free kicks to the Swans. Didn't look a lot in it. Shawbull's got it. Turnovers at this stage of a game become absolutely critical, don't they? They're the ones you actually remember in the end. Shawbull comes wide, very wide. Is it touched? He had Saddington short in the corridor.
Just no talk there, Bruce. His players around him should be telling him where he's got to go, where he's got space, if there's any leads on. But just no talk.
I guess this is where coaching is probably at its most difficult, isn't it? The players are on the ground now, the coaches are in the coaching box. Really, there's not a lot a coach can do. It's up to the players at the moment. Really, I think it just boils down to which team really wants to win this game the most.
Goods goes early. Stevens overran it. Black. Well done, Fosdyke, just to get a hand on it. And then Stevens. Every play is important. Barry pushes forward. Creswell will hack it, and he does. Gets to centre half forward. Well done, Kennedy. He attacked it hard. And up and under. Goods, McDonald, Ackermanis. Front spot. McDonald's got 3 to beat. The hip and shoulders. Well, Fosdyke didn't get it far enough, and the Lions are going to do well here. Ackermanis cut off to Stevens. Goes hard and long. Stafford's height could be a factor. Lepich worked him underneath. Conceded behind. Gee, wouldn't have done that pick in about 7 minutes' time, would he?
Yeah, but well, I think it was the smart play.
Of course, it was smart, but you wouldn't want him to come back and launch, you would have?
Lepic loads it up. The Swans have got a chance here because Bolton's made the move, but McRae at best. Good tackle from Bolton. Swans may get out of it. The handball was indiscriminate. Black's been so good to McRae off the side a bit. O'Keefe searching for it, can't quite find it. Pushing him, Cupido, 2 blokes at the plate, 3 games between them. Crouch comes in and it ricochets away for a boundary throw in. Well, I wonder if the next goal wins it. I just don't think there's going to be a lot of goals kicked.
It doesn't appear so at this, but it's a real struggle, and I said before that the team that wants to win it the most wins. I think both teams really seem to want it to win at the moment, and maybe, and I don't like to say, maybe a bit of luck's going to come into it.
McDonald's kick to half forward, Power terrific to Ackermanis, 50 out, getting back is Luff, he's searching for it, boundary throw in.
Just should have been a little bit better there. Ackermanis on the break, should have either, well, made a score, at least got a score, or hit a leading forward. Just a wasted opportunity again.
So do the Swans concede a point at this stage? There's still plenty of time. It's in a very dangerous position. Luff towards the line. He had to keep it in. It was a good kick by Luff. There was very little to do, and it's a good result for the Swans to get it outside the 50.
That was a terrific kick from Troy Luff, because he was on his left foot. He was getting pushed to the boundary line. In that case, what you really could see in 2 minds, will I run it over? Fantastic kick not to kick it out of bounds on the full.
Had to kick it softly, didn't he, in the end? But at the same time, get something on it. The Swans have kicked 8 points in the last quarter to 3-2. White gets back to centre half forward. Stevens can't take it. Bomford back to Creswell. Crunch, he's in trouble. And Ackermanis, he down low. No free kick. It was a good decision. He wobbles it and Shawbles. No, it's a behind. Scores a level again.
Well, that's a great passage of play. Just players all around the football there. Sydney Swans getting it first. Good tackle on Creswell. He got a handball out. Ackermanis shrugged it. So there's really 36 players out there having a real dip at the moment.
It's one of those games, if you're really nervous and you're at home, you probably want to go for a walk for 8 minutes and come back and get someone to tell you what happened. But don't go away, whatever you do.
Particularly if you're a parent or related to one of the players, I can tell that's when it's very hard to be a relative or a friend of a person actually playing the game.
Or Rocket Eads' cat that's sitting at home waiting. Well, it's in the right spot for the Lions. It's sort of almost any score at the moment. It's a big one, isn't it? Gets it to half-back, Kennedy, and also Stafford boundary throw in.
Yeah, well done by Kennedy just to get it over the boundary. Well, that's been a fascinating duel too, Kennedy versus Fitzgerald, Fitzgerald's been good, but Kennedy's had 9 possessions and created a bit of run off that half-back line.
Well, the clock's starting to become reasonably important in a low-scoring last quarter. Players are very tired. It will be harder to break a line here than it's been for most of the day. As Richard Champion, we saw Andrew Dunkley earlier, who had a huge amount of ice on his quad. There's Richard Champion, who's, I reckon, did pretty well in that 3rd quarter when they needed him. Half forward for the Lions. Stafford with his height. Good tap to Creswell. White was good in close. Black was outstanding to Lappin. Lappin 48 metres out. It's got the legs. It's got the carry. It's a kick to goal. I think he has. Sensational play by Nigel Lappin.
Yeah, he's one of those Brisbane Lion players with the silky smooth skills. He's had 23 possessions, had 12 in the 1st quarter, was shut down in the 2nd and 3rd quarters. But look at this. You can't teach that. Just a really smart decision to balk around. I think it was Jude Bolton. Just sell him a bit of a dummy. And then Lappin, great finish from about 40 metres out to put the Brisbane Lions in front by 6 points.
Well, Plugger told us they've now kicked 9 of the last 10 goals, the Lions. The Swans have kicked 8 straight points in this term. And the Lions lead by a goal. It's a bit of a slap by Power, but they've gone forward. Another one here would break the Swans back, you'd think. Lynch, Shawball, Saddington backtracking, did well. Bomford got it for Luff. That's a terrible handball to Shawball. Power to close the match. Well, that's also an important behind.
That is a costly, that is a very important point. Obviously, they would have preferred a goal, but it just gives them a little bit of breathing room. Takes the margin to 7 points.
Well, the Swans have got to start taking some risks now from the kick-outs. He's just got to go straight down the middle, as he's done.
Stafford the target, and young McDonald's got over the top to mark it. White's on his own.
Who's on him?
So White in the heart of the centre square. Powers wide. Brett Voss. Power wider still. Got Power now. He's a long kick, Power. He's committed now. He's a very long kick. That is a sensational goal. What a kick from the pocket. They're going to win it.
That is a sensational goal, Bruce. No question about that. The young fella, he has been outstanding today. That's about his 23rd possession, and, well, I don't know. That's 3 goals to Luke Power as well. Just look at this here. Jared Crouch was coming at him at 1,000,000 miles an hour. He walked around him like he wasn't even there, and then kicked from a left-footer plugger from that position. Great finish.
Oh, great composure for a young bloke. He's been instrumental today. He's had a great game, and a little bit slack on the Swans' defence there. Jared Crouch probably should have picked him up even before it was passed out to Luke Power then, and a great goal from Luke Power, and put the Lions now.
Well, seemingly home.
In front.
It would take a miracle, to be truthful, from this point. They have deserved this. Lappin, Schwass, Fosdyke and Voss. The experienced Lions players here, you would think, would be able to win it from now. Stevens to Schwass to Creswell to full forward. They just need a mark, somebody to do it. O'Loughlin's a chance. He's in the pocket. He's still a chance. He'll kick a goal. Yes, he will. Mickey's given them some hope. Just a little hope.
Well, Darren Creswell and Michael O'Loughlin are 2 guys that have really stood up in this last quarter, and Creswell's had 35 possessions. Mickey O'Loughlin's had 23, but they've done their best to keep the Swans in the game.
Well, they certainly have, and once again, both of them involved again in that passage of play, and all of a sudden, quick reply from the Swans, and they're certainly not out of it yet.
Well, they've gone from needing a miracle to a whole lot of luck in 1 minute, haven't they? But look at Lee really getting animated here, Lee Matthews. But the Lions have still got it's a big break, isn't it, at this point? 7 points, 2 kicks.
Well, there hasn't been a lot of scoring in this last quarter, has it? So you would think it's a winning break, but there's still 3 minutes plus to go. So if the Swans can get it out the middle here with Greg Stafford.
So every centre break, every 50-50, every moment now becomes vital. Ackermanis stops and props and takes the lot of the Swans on, and then kicks to Cupido. O'Keefe the stretch. Powers the danger. Powers a danger man. He's 40 out. He hooks it back. It was touched. Well done, Luff, and Malloy came in. I don't think Power can believe it.
Geez, it was nip and tuck down there on the line plug.
Must have been close then.
Yeah, it looked from here that it might have gone through, but well done to Troy Luff if he obviously got a fingernail to it.
I think it was Jared Malloy that actually touched it.
Handball inboard, came from Black to White to full forward. He's paid it to Malloy with strength.
I think it was Malloy that actually touched that ball last time, so Brisbane needs to repay Luke Power, I guess you'd call it, and go back and slot this one. If he does, well, then you would think that the task might be a little bit out of the Swans' hands.
So Jared Malloy, who's had a strange old day. Has he missed it? He's missed it, hasn't he?
Tell you, all the Brisbane Lions players ran up there to Beau McDonald too. When that kick out, Ben Matthews kicked it straight up the middle, as he should do, but Beau McDonald came in with a huge fist and knocked it back about 20 yards, and the Lions backman ran from everywhere to congratulate him, and Jared Malloy could have put the game away right there, but he's just kept the Sydney Swans in it, and Swatter needs to kick a big torb up the middle.
And he's gone long and hard. Stafford, he didn't get it probably as far as he wanted. Saddington, good handball. Barry has been quiet in the final term. Gets it to centre half forward. Fitzgerald's attack was impressive. Can he turn his man? That's a wonderful tackle by Lepage. Stevens takes Lepage on. Lepage gets a little hand to him. It gets to centre half forward. Goods. Well, I thought he might have got one there. He's a bit stiff. He certainly copped one. The ball at half forward, taken by Crouch, hooking back to full forward. O'Loughlin, magnificent mark. Sensational stuff.
Is that, I think there's that picking on him.
Yes.
Right? Lee Matthews had Shattuck and picking on Mickey O'Loughlin all day, and gee, for the Brisbane Lions point of view, you wouldn't like that to come and bite them.
And he's kicked a third goal, and we have a grandstand finish coming up here. Gee, Jared Malloy's kick at the other end suddenly becomes so important.
Well, Mickey O'Loughlin, 16 kicks, 8 handballs and 3 goals, 3. But I just can't help but think, Plugger, just those young kids, I know they're going to be great players, but Picken and Shattuck have played on O'Loughlin all day, and he's a terrific player. It's a big ask for the young kids.
It's a huge ask, and especially when he's on song, and today he's been on song.
Captain Andrew Dunkley looking on. The Lions will just want to knock this ball. Bo McDonald will want to hit it straight to the boundary line, and Greg Stafford will want to hit it forward.
Wide over the top, Greswell to Saddington. It's forced to go defensively and then hook it back. Stevens front spot, outnumbered, ball to be won. Stevens up and under, still to be won. Called play on, Voss took it and then very cleverly gave it to White. Gives it to Ackermanis, Ackermanis to Black. Black up and under, but it's a centre half forward. Malloy front spot, a bouncing ball. Can somebody get a breakaway? Barry besieged, great tackling. Fosdyke comes out and hooks it wide. There's very little time. Voss running hard towards the pocket, deliberately puts it out.
Now that's got to be deliberate. I mean, the ridiculous thing is if a defender did that, it'd be a deliberate. But when someone in the midfield does it, they don't call it.
Half back, Stafford to Fosdyke, and trying to get it out. Swash to Creswell. Creswell towards the centre wing, and the Lions have done it. Look at Lee Matthews. That is a very big win. Rocket can't believe it. For the 5th time this year, they've been beaten by 9 points or less.
And Brisbane kicked 10 of the last 12 goals. And I don't know what it is, but it's very disappointing, I can assure you.
Well, for Brisbane, it was a famous victory, and for the Swans, it was a disastrous loss.